In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at word problems involving perimeter. Now, if you're trying to find the perimeter of any shape, you're adding all the sides together. For example, if you're trying to figure out the perimeter of the room that you're in right now, you would take a tape measure and just measure all the way around and add up all those sides together. So we're going to be creating diagrams from these word problems and taking a look and labeling each side with a specific algebraic expression or number, and then using or combining like term skills to create an equation and solve it using the scenario that they give us. So in the first problem, it says the perimeter of a rectangle is 74 meters. The width is 1.5 times a number. The length is 18 less than 4 times the same number. Find the number and each dimension. So, first thing I'm going to do is draw my diagram. Okay, I'm going to draw a rectangle. And now it says the width is 1.5 times the number. 1.5, I can write that as a fraction or I can write it as a decimal. 1.5 times a number is 1.5. We don't know what the number is, so we call it x. Now we know in a rectangle, whatever is over here is also over here. So this is also 1.5x. The length is 18 less than, remember 18 less than minus 18, give some space, 4 times the same number. 4 times the same number. So it's 4x minus 18. So remember, whenever you have less than, 18 less than, that goes at the end, minus 18. And whatever's on the top goes on the bottom. Right here. Boom. All right, so now all my sides are labeled. I know my perimeter is 74. Okay, and we're going to remember that for the end. But what I'm going to do is use my combining like term skills to create an equation. What sometimes I do is line them up vertically so you can see where the like terms are. So you have 4x minus 18 and 4x minus 18. So I just put them up here, 4x minus 18, 4x minus 18. And the other ones are 1.5x and 1.5x. I'm going to put them next, right below the 4x part, because those are like terms. And I'm going to add all those together. So 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1.5 plus 1.5, which is 3, is going to be 11x. Negative 18 and negative 18 is negative 36. All right, so I combine all of these, got 11x, combined all of these, and got negative 36. And you could do that here too. You could say, hey, okay, I got 4x plus 4x plus 1.5x plus 1.5x. That's 11x. Negative 18 is negative 36. Now we said in the problem, when we add up all the sides, it's equal to 74. So my equation is going to equal 74. And I put my line down, my equal sign, and I solve, just like I've done before, add 36 to both sides. And I get 11x is 110. Let me give myself some more room. And then we divide both sides by 11. And you get x is 10. Now, usually when we get to the end of the problem, we get to solve for x, we're done, right? No, we're not done. We just have to find the number and each dimension. So what I have to do is then plug that back in to each of these terms. Now, only have to do it twice, since the rectangle, we have the same sides. And we figure out what each side is when we plug it back in. So when I plug in 10 into 1.5x. If you don't know, use your calculator. 1.5 times 10 is 15. So this is going to be 15. That means this is going to be 15. When I plug it in here, plug 10 into here, 4 times 10, just move the decimal spot over, is 40 minus 18 is going to be 22. You could double check in the calculator. So just to double check, clear all, 4 times 10 minus 18 is 22. So technically we have a 22 by 15 rectangle. That's the dimensions of our rectangle there. All right, the longest side being 22, the shortest side being 15. And be careful, it might ask you what's the longest side or what's the shortest side. All right, let's take a look at the next one. The width of a rectangle is 9 inches longer than half the length. The perimeter is 108 inches. Find the length and the width. So again, we draw our diagram. The width is 9 inches longer than half the length. So we don't know what the length is. So when it doesn't label the length for us, we just call it x. 9 inches longer than means you add 9 to whatever comes after that, half the length. So half the length would be, you could write 1/2 x, or you could do 0.5x, okay? It doesn't matter. So this is going to be 1/2 x plus 9 as well, right? Now remember, whenever there is no number out in front of x, there is an invisible 1, right? All right, so again, I'm going to combine like terms. 1x, 1x, 1/2 x minus 9, or you could do 0.5. Really, it doesn't matter. You should know a half plus a half is 1, right? So when you add those together, that's 1x. And don't forget the plus 9s. And we add up all these together. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3x. 9 plus 9 is 18. The perimeter is 108. Line down the equal sign, subtract 18 from both sides, and we get 3x is 90. Divide both sides by 3, and we get x is 30. So, we then, again, we're not done. We got to find the dimensions. We got to find the length. The length, when I type it in, is 1 times 30, which is 30. Right? So this is going to be 30. The length is going to be 30. And the width is going to be half of 30, right? When I plug this in, I plug that in, half of 30 is 15 plus 9, which is 23. 23. and 23. So technically we have a 30 by 23 rectangle. Okay. This is the length. This is the width. All right. Sometimes they might ask you in the problem too, what is the length specifically, or what is the width specifically? So it's always good to know which one is which. And really, it doesn't matter in a rectangle, but depending on how you turn it or how you label it. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at one more. In a scalene triangle, the second longest side is 2 inches longer than the shortest, and the largest side is 4 inches less than twice the shortest. The perimeter is 38. Find the length of each side. So a scalene triangle, for those that don't remember, is a triangle with all different side lengths. I don't like that. So the second longest side is 2 inches longer than the shortest. So the second longest side is 2 inches longer than the shortest. So that's going to be 2 inches longer means plus 2. So we don't know what the shortest side is. We're going to call that x, and the other one is going to be x plus 2. The largest side is 4 inches less than twice the shortest. So 4 inches less than is minus 4, twice the shortest. And again, to remind you, there's a 1 out in front of the x's, right? And then I label them vertically, right? Oh, I meant to say 4 inches less than twice the shortest. That's how you say 2x minus 4. All right, so now I'm going to line them all up. We got 1x, we got 1x plus 2, and we got 2x minus 4. Add those bad boys up. 1x plus 2x is 4x. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. And my perimeter is 38. So equals 38. Line down the equal sign. Add 2 to both sides. So we get 4x is 40. Divide both sides by 4. And we get x is 10. So I solved the number, but again, we got to find the dimensions. So we plug it in. Plug in 10 here. So 1 times 10 is 10. Plug in 10 here, right? 1 times 10 is 10 plus 2 is 12. And then plug in 10 in here. 2 times 10 is 20 minus 4 is 16. And when I add all these numbers up, it's 10 plus 12 plus 16. It is 38. Okay. So I believe that was the last one. Yep. So that's it for these problems. Remember, perimeter, you add up all the sides. Make sure you create your diagram and label it before making your equation so you know what kind of combining like terms you're doing. And then make sure once you solve for x in the end, you plug it back in to each side to find the dimensions. All right. So that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. And remember, whether you're solving for x or y, always give math a try.